Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
I want him to pay her back too, and I'm glad she got to say it to his face. Hard to hear that. All right, a bit more of a love story here in the Beehive State. If you're liking those warm and breezy conditions, live view from Nelson Peak. We've got a little bit of cloud cover from our A+ garage cameras. We look into the Salt Lake Valley, but that is a beautiful view. Temperatures are slightly above average today. As we look at the numbers, we've got 80s. We've been sitting at 88 in Salt Lake. 84 is typically where we are, so those winds pushing the numbers a bit. 80s and 90s on the eastern side of the state. 96 in St. George and 80s along the I-15 corridor. Tonight along the Wasatch Front, partly cloudy skies will stick around as we ease into the 70s. By ABC4 News at 10, mid-70s. We will see a dry overnight along the Wasatch Front, but that won't be the case for everybody. I'll show you where and why. Black Desert Sky Cam with the mid-90s in southern Utah. The heat is on, but that's seasonal in the south. We are dealing with the winds, and that is something that is brought to you by the movement of this upper-level low and the positioning of our high. A very pronounced southwesterly flow is really enhancing the southerly winds, and that will continue as we head into the midweek. In the last few hours, you see how that southwesterly flow also brings in a little bit of moisture, and we've seen a pop-up storm over the Uintas. The forewarned radar shows you exactly where. As we zoom in, storm weakening here as it gets towards Manila and over Flaming Gorge. Southwestern Wyoming has some active skies and maybe a cell or two towards Castle Country, but fairly quiet out there. Tomorrow won't be quiet on the western side of the state. With these warm, windy conditions, we amp up fire danger. A red flag warning has been issued for the Great Salt Lake Desert and Mountains. Big portion of the West Desert here with gusts up to 40 miles per hour. A fire start would spread quickly. I haven't said that in a while, but here we are. So we've got to be really careful. That red flag warning goes into effect at 11 a.m. The storm threat tomorrow, you can see where the southwesterly winds dry us out, has been expanded to include the eastern side of the state. So there is some moisture potential, and we have to look at those storms. Futurecast shows that tonight, Duchesne into Vernal and over the Uintas sees a few storms. Southerly flow for our Wednesday. A few pop-ups here towards the state line, Bear Lake, Cache Valley, Vernal, Flaming Gorge, and southwestern Wyoming into the afternoon hours. But you can't rule out the Wasatch Front. Isolated storm potential for your Thursday as that upper level low makes a move. We also know that with storms in the forecast, there's a possibility we see some flash flooding on the eastern side of the state, southeastern Utah towards the Swell and Capitol Reef. Now this low is going to lift. It's bringing cooler air. This is a progressive fall pattern. Tomorrow we'll see those temperatures drop in the Pacific Northwest towards Boise and into California. And as that low lifts, we get cooler air into northern Utah. So cooler air is incoming. Why are we windy? Well, here's the high. Here's the low. Moisture's in place. As the low digs south and starts to move inland, we increase those southerly winds. They're gusty. Lots of moisture on the eastern side of that low as well as cooler air. Thursday and into Friday, we see it lift, and that means northern and eastern Utah have the chance of some storms with our moisture in place Friday and into Saturday. We stay a bit unsettled into next week with another low on the move, but I will keep you forewarned if that's going to bring any wet weather. 80s for tomorrow with the winds. I go upper 80s. Low 90s in Moab and St. George. As we look at the next 7 days here, you're going to see those numbers in St. George easing with cooler air making it to the south. The winds bring us into the 80s and only a slight chance on Thursday. Here's the Wasatch Front. We've got 90s turning into 80s, and there are the 70s. That low opens the door for the fall feels. We also see the potential for isolated to scattered storms, looking a little drier Sunday and into Monday of next week. So a bit unsettled as we close out the week.